One of the most important things in survival is finding shelter. In this episode, I'd like to show you the very first steps on how to find your first shelter, your ship, in No Man's Sky. Please follow me, and let's have some fun. Let's start off by holding down the E button. There we go. Hello survivors! I'm your tutorial video instructor, King Akira. How's everybody doing today? In this episode, I'm going to be demonstrating the first steps on what to do in No Man's Sky once you wake up. You wake up and you have absolutely no idea where you are, you have no memories, and you're in pretty bad shape. Your equipment's all broken, and you have no shelter. And by the time this whole beginning part is done, I hope that you will get the basics of how to survive the first few minutes in this game. Our first objective is to find our spaceship, because we're thrown way far away from it. And to do so, if we find sodium, we can protect ourselves from the elements. On the bottom left-hand side of the screen, we're going to be seeing how screwed we are, but we're going to be able to use various different items, and we are very lucky. We have that little shelter over there. There just happens to be a cave right as we start. I'm super lucky on this one. I'm about to die. Take a look at the very bottom left-hand side of the screen. My coldness meter was almost down to 0. That would have been a very bad time. But once you come under cover like this, say a cave, then you actually get to just recharge. Let's go over the basics on survival in No Man's Sky. This mode is incredibly difficult compared to the normal mode. This is survival mode, so just a little bit of damage or just a little bit of environmental hazard can totally get us killed. But with these simple steps, you should be able to survive enough that we can get to our spaceship. Now, the first thing we want to do is to repair our equipment. Right now, our equipment is broken, and we need to find where our ship is. Push the P button, P as in Papa, and we're going to be able to get to the main menu, and we can see that the bottom right hand of the side of the screen says that we need to fix our scanner. So, in order to fix our scanner, we have to have the proper elements. We, in this case, need ferrite. 75 pieces of ferrite, which is commonly found in all sorts of rocks and minerals around us. Rocks and minerals, however, within caves are not ferrite. They're usually cobalt, so please be careful of that. Once we get enough pieces of ferrite, we can use this to repair our multi-tool. Well, part of our multi-tool. The multi-tool can be used to mine, it can be used as a weapon, it can be used as a scanner, and our scanner portion is broken. So we need to fix that in order to find our spaceship. Our spaceship is somewhere nearby, so don't go off too far. All we need is a little bit more pieces of ferrite. Right now we have, what? 47 over 75 pieces of ferrite, so just a little bit more, few chunks of rocks, and we'll be able to oh, take a look at this. Oh, we have a sodium yellow flower over there. That sodium flower is going to allow us to survive. If you push the X button on your keyboard, you can recharge your multi-tool and recharge your mining beam because it does run out of fuel, but you can also recharge your environmental shield so that if you get too cold, then you can use the sodium, the yellow sodium that we just found, in order to bolster up your shields against the elements. So we're almost there with the ferrite, but take a look at the very top right hand of the screen. The mining laser overheats if you use it too much, but the key is to just let go once it becomes full. You don't have to wait until it cools down all the way. Well, you do, but it only takes a fraction of a second in order for it to actually cool down. So the trick is, you just wait until the unit is about to overheat, and you just simply let go of the mining beam, and then click again, and you don't have to wait very long at all. It's the easiest way to make sure that your mining beam does not overheat. Push the tab button and you can open the inventory, and you can also use the A and D buttons to switch through the inventories, through your backpack inventory, your multi-tool, and later on your ship. And I'm gonna push the X button in order to use the carbon that we just acquired so I can recharge my mining beam laser, or else we have to start punching the actual trees in order to get carbon, and it's a bad time. But now we can see on the right hand side of the screen, there it is. Now that the scanner is fixed, we can see where the ship is. So once we get there, we can stabilize. One of the most important things in survival, especially in No Man's Sky, is to make sure that you got shelter that you can fall back to. And in this case, it's going to be our ship. Unfortunately, once we get to our ship, it's still broken. And we can't take off with it yet, but we're gonna be able to fix it eventually. Now we'll notice on the center part of the screen a little bit more towards the right that there's actually a red mark called a C+. We just saw that just a second ago. We're gonna come across it right over here. This C+, this is a much better type of carbon. So this is high in density. If you find these red crystals, at the very beginning you can't mine the very big types, but they're highly efficient, so they're going to be able to recharge your system far easier than others. Until we get better mining laser upgrades and such, it's a constant battle to mine carbon that you need in order to use the multi-tool, and you use the multi-tool to mine more carbon through plants and such, but while you're doing so, you're also depleting a lot of the mining beam laser power, so it's a bad, not very efficient system at first, but those crystals are very yummy. They're very efficient. And we're also looking for something even yummier. Tasty yellow sodium flowers. So I'm pushing the scanning button, which is the C button, but I don't know why we can't find it. I see some sodium crystals here, which is very high efficiency, but I can't mine these yet because I don't have the proper equipment. We need a mining laser upgrade unit in order to do so. I'm having very bad luck actually finding sodium here, so I'm just going to use up the sodium that I got going on here so I can just keep going. Push the X button and I'm going to recharge my environmental shield systems on the bottom left hand corner of the screen. Now usually we can find a lot of sodium around here, there's just the yellow flowers. You can push the C button and scan, but I don't know why I can't find any. I did find oxygen. These red plants replenish my oxygen system. It's very handy dandy, and right now I'm conserving my oxygen, so we're okay. If you run, if you sprint, if you start using your jetpack a lot, it lets you travel faster, but it does consume oxygen at an incredible rate. In survival mode, it can get you killed. So right now I'm gonna just walk and steadily get to my ship here. Once we get to this point, we're good. This is called the Radiant Pillar. I'm not really sure why it's called the Radiant Pillar. It used to be called the Rasa Mama, similar unit, but once we get here, we're pretty much okay. Now we can survive. However, we'll see that the ship is actually broken, so we can't take off yet. But you know, we just fixed our multi-tool. We can fix this ship as well. And look at that, we actually got here in less than 10 minutes. Once we get to this point, now we can safely operate, we can run back here if we need to, and we're gonna be okay. I hope this video helped you out. Thank you very much for watching. I'm your tutorial video instructor, King Akira. And I'll see you next time.